Election is a win or lose affair. So how do you see this conspiracy building up from different political camps in Nigeria? Once it doesn't go in the favor of a particular party, that election is not acceptable.
To some extent, intellectually, you're right that Nigerian politicians generally have to improve on their acceptability. We all have to improve on our acceptability, but on the conduct of election too. You see, the election is not just the day. The process, the day before, the process before, the campaigning, and the process after.
Are you saying the heavy deployment of security to the Osun election and also the heavy deployment of security presence in Ekiti election, are you saying those deployments isn't an overkill?
I don't know what you mean by overkill, but maybe I should just get you back to history. At the last election in 2007, after that, before that election, at that election, there were lots of violence. And so if it needed security to ensure that everybody went peacefully, and was able to one man, one vote, I think so be it.
Dr. Muyiwa Oladimeji, now, apart from the fact that we have a one-off issue of rescue operation, the challenge of rescue operation in Sambisa Forest, we still have this regular cycle of violence in the Northeast. Are you saying that this challenge doesn't demand the urgent and emergency deployment of troops?
You are quite a situation of terrorism and guerrilla warfare, if I may use that word, to a situation where people are publicly intimidated. In Sambisa, and it's been said by a lot of people, the military and the security cannot just go in because you and all of us will blame them if all those 200 and over 200 girls get killed because the military or the security people are trying, to rescue. The essence of a rescue operation as such is more complicated and more complex than when you try to prevent thugs from being violent at political rallies or being violent on political election day. You had Marilyn Oga, one of the director of information of the SSS, talking, who publicly declared. She said that the SSS attempt was made to bribe the SSS, and she even now mentioned the fellows, the party that was involved in trying to bribe the SSS to compromise security. So those are two different things. I don't think you or I have any information about anybody trying to bribe on Chibok issue.
Coming back to the issues at stake now, the declared Aregbesol's victory for Osun State, would you say this is based on performance? And does those allegations coming from the PDP, can it really take a substance away from his victory?
I have said, and I told you, that in my polling booth, for example, my polling unit, I cannot say that sort of thing happened. But if others said so, and have no reason to think that they're not telling the truth, then this will be subjected to the true test of the law.
Though the All Progressives Congress is still basking in the euphoria of the election victory, it has debunked allegations of the PDP of poor conduct of the election. It maintains the election was won fair and square based on good governance and excellent grassroots connection with the people of Osun State. Now, the initial flaying of the heavy deployment of security seemed to be taking a nosedive, though not without some reservations. Now, I met Chief Shegun, the Deputy National Chairman of the APC, and this is what he has to say on the conduct of the just concluded governorship election in Osun State.
Yes, the election was in our favor, but the deployment of security was not in our favor, because deployment of security must be looked at from the point of view of what were they there to do. When security people are deployed to intimidate, harass, arrest, and torture people, then it can't be a positive thing. In Ekiti, as well as in Osun, at the eve of the election, a lot of our members were arrested. In Ekiti, on the day of election, some were picked up from the various polling units where they were supposed to cast their votes, and they were taken away. They weren't even allowed to vote. In Osun, the eve of the election, our National Publicity Secretary was arrested and taken away, and after a while, he was released. So this is what we are talking about. It is not that we are anti-security. No, we are not anti-security. What we are saying is that when you are using this as an instrument of coercion, it is like allowing the country to slip into fascism.
Your party had complained bitterly about the outcome of the election and pointing fingers at the heavy deployment of security. Now it has swung in your favor. So what is the difference now and the factor that has contributed to the winning of elections in Osun State, and why did the APC lost in Ekiti State?
Well, first, the terrains are quite different. The readiness of the people are quite also different. Don't forget, we had seen it in Ekiti, so we were expecting it. It's a bit different. And of course, the Osun people were prepared to defend their votes and their mandate in a very, very consistent and serious manner. I will also want to say that the harassment in Osun was probably not as much as it was in Ekiti. Probably. Not as much as it was in Ekiti. But there was the intimidation, the harassment, and the torture of our members in both cases. So, Osun, we thank God we won. But give that to the governor, give that to the party, give that to the people. They were prepared. They were prepared to defend that mandate, and they were prepared to ensure that their votes are counted and that the votes count.